want you guys to take a look at this flower. This is one of the first flowers to bloom in the spring. It's called a daffodil. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 petals, and then it has this kind of tubular petal in the middle, kind of like a cylinder. These petals go around in a circle, and this is also a circle, as you can see. And when you tilt it, it looks more like an oval. So we're going to think about those shapes as we draw this today, those two circular planes. Just for fun, these are some examples that my kids made today. Okay, I did that one. Here's Ezra's and Levi's. They drew daffodils. Once they practiced on scrap paper and got feeling comfortable with it, they drew daffodils on cardstock and made them into little greeting cards so that they can send them to their grandmas and an old friend of ours who was a piano teacher who's in a nursing home. And I think it'll be just a nice little surprise to cheer people up. Nice happy flowers. We all need some smiles. All right, so let's get started. Like I said, we are going to think about the shapes of the flower. And what I want you to do right now is get a piece of scrap paper and a pencil with an eraser. Maybe if you want to make it a little fancier, you could get a pen, black pen for tracing, and a few crayons or markers. All right, so the first thing we're going to do, and I'm going to try to draw this nice and big, we're going to make our daffodil on an angle. So we're going to sketch a nice big oval. Don't be afraid to fill up your page. So when you're learning how to draw something, it's nice to draw big so that you can really work on the detail and not be trying to squeeze it in real tiny. All right, so we got an oval. That's just a circle on an angle, right? Halfway between this end and this end. Halfway between this side and this side. We have a point in the middle right there. So draw that middle point the best you can. That's the center of our daffodil. And the center is where that tubular part of that kind of cylinder shape is coming out. So we're gonna go ahead and draw another oval that is kind of running parallel to the bigger oval. That's our guideline for that tubular part. And then see this curve, bring that down, just kind of slide it down, make a curve down here at the bottom. Then what you want to do is connect the edge, connect the ends of those two. So you're making a cylinder, but really it's slightly smaller here, so it's more like a cone that was cut off. All right, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna divide our oval into thirds, the best that we can. What we're doing, why we're doing that is because daffodils have 2 sets of 3 petals. So we are going to make 1 petal, 2 petal. This one we're not really going to be able to see very well. You could kind of make it coming out the side, I guess. 3 petals. Okay, and then between each of those, you're going to make another petal. So we should have a total of 6 petals. All right, and then let's go ahead and make a ruffle. See that? How they have this like kind of ruffle at the top? So we're gonna make this little ruffle. Then I think I'm gonna stop there. And I'm gonna trace this with my black pen. You don't want to trace all the lines. Your guidelines you don't want to trace. You know, like these, that Y that I drew, I don't want to trace that. Okay, and the circle around here, that oval we drew, we're not going to trace that. When I trace with the black pen, I'm only tracing what I want to stay. So just the petals and the cylinder petal in the middle. You can see right now I'm adding something that I didn't originally draw. These are just the parallel veins in the daffodil. So I'll show you a little closer. Daffodils are monocots and they have veins that run parallel to each other. I don't know if you can see that or not. Just trust me. You don't have to go crazy with the lines, but you can, you know, you can just give the impression that, okay, this is a monocot. You could even draw the little flower parts inside, coming out a little bit. See, that's the girl part, and those are the boy parts inside. Pretty cool, huh? You can't see that with all flowers. Some flowers, they're just so tiny it's hard to see, but don't be mad at me. I'm gonna rip it open a little bit so you can see it better. See, you can really see that style, this big style, and these little tiny stamen going around it with all the pollen on them. And that pollen, when it gets in here, it's going to make a new daffodil. See, down here? This is where the new bulb is going to start to grow. All right, so I'm going to make a stem. It would be starting from the center, coming out here about. Again, we have lines that are all going to be parallel. So when you draw your petals, a lot of people, or when you draw leaves, a lot of people draw leaves like this. And that's not actually how you want to draw daffodil or tulip or trillium or lily leaves. Those are all monocots, like grass or bamboo, and they all are corn. They all have veins that are running parallel, like this. So you kind of get to be a little bit of a scientist when you are an artist, because both scientists and artists are observing, making a lot of observations. You're noticing shapes, colors, all that stuff. All right, so once you trace over it with your pen, go ahead and erase all those lines you don't want. I think I'm shaking the table. Just like that. All right, you get the idea. So there you go. There's the daffodil. And if you want to color it, you know, you can do that. I wouldn't paint it unless you use a permanent marker to trace it. Otherwise, the black will run all over the place. So you don't paint it unless it's permanent. Go ahead and color it though with crayons or marker or colored pencil, whatever you have, just to add a nice bright, happy color to it. When you feel good about it, you could even, you know, like make groups of 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever you want to do. Just fill in your paper with daffodils. Make a happy spring picture. And there you go. Okay, if you have any questions, you can let me know. And if you actually do this, I would love to see what you do. So you can just tag me or have your parents tag me so that we can see what you did. All right? All right, bye everyone. Happy spring.